There, there we go. Okay, sorry, spotty. So, yeah, anyways, so I am out here at my buddy's shop working on getting this motor a little cleaner because so that motor can be pulled very quickly. It's just, unfortunately, I'm waiting for Keith because it's nice to have a hand when doing that. I could probably do it myself and might be able to get this one stabbed back in, but I mean, there's a couple of details that I need to fix on this, like motor mounts are incorrect, which I'll just use the motor mounts around here because they're actually like relatively new. But yeah, so anyways, there we go. And yeah, so I'm just slowly cleaning in the orifices of the motor. And yeah, I'm sorry about the internet connection. It's a little spotty out here, so if it keeps saying reconnecting, it's just annoying. If I was outside, it would be better, but being in the shop, not exactly. But you know, getting it there, because like if we take a look actually at what I've done so far in the front of the motor there, you can see this was all covered in mud and gunk and whatever else and grease and etc. etc. So sorry, just trying to figure this out here. This is first time being live out here. Let me fix my shirt. The shirt likes to ride up, it's kind of annoying. So yeah, you know, just simple. Have a little brush here, have a parts washer for its cleaner. So I can just keep cleaning the brush and getting a new cleaner on it as well, and just go into town detailing a motor, which is the first time I've ever done that technically. So yeah, actually, and I want to really quick live chat. There we go. And yeah, just enjoy myself, you know, and talk to you lovely people. Who's all watching right now? We only have 2, but that's okay. I'm sure there'll be more. Because, yeah, we're getting this thing all ready for, I want to drive it home today, so. This isn't necessary to drive it home today, but I got that last bolt out within about 10 minutes of just tackling it again. Because sometimes it's nice to sleep on something and then get back to it the next day, which is what I did with the bell housing bolts. Because there was one bell housing bolt that was not wanting to come out very well. But then Keith tried the impact, whatever else, which he got it to move. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I attacked it with a wrench a little bit from up top, and then I took the air ratchet, and it came completely out after that. So yeah, it's nice when you're fiddling and stuff comes out. And like literally, it only took about 10 minutes after that, like at that point. Once I was able to turn it from up top. So yeah, because right now it is actually almost 1 o'clock. Huh, it's been a little longer than I thought it has been, or unless that clock doesn't work properly. I'm not sure. But yeah, just, you know, trying to get all the caked mud and stuff like that off this motor and grease and whatever else. By the way, if you haven't already, hit that like button. Because every little bit helps me to, you know, give you guys more content, whatever else, and that gets more eyes on it, which means I can make a little more money on stuff in the future and give you guys a lot more content. Because yeah, the funds are starting to dry up pretty quick here. You know, it'll only be a couple more months and then I'll be back where I was. So, especially with how I'm going right now. But yeah, so this is the this motor is a 302 that came out of an 88 T-Bird actually. Like I said, I'm just cleaning it up before it goes back into Lilo, which you can see Lilo up on the lift right there. So yeah. Oh, sorry. A little muddled there. So yeah, I hope you all are having a fantastic day. Let me know how your morning has been so far, because mine's been pretty good actually. I got up at the hotel, you know, I was feeling good. I decided, you know what, let's go over to Denny's, because I just wanted some breakfast. So I go over to Denny's, and I start talking with this gentleman from across the table from me. You know, he's a nice guy, whatever else. we just keep chatting away. And then we start talking about my car, and I start talking about my YouTube, whatever else like that. And by the end of it, like, very nice conversation. We talked for maybe, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes or so. And then he actually paid for my breakfast, so that was nice. Yeah, and you know, like he didn't know much about cars, but you know, I was talking to him a little bit, and like he said his girlfriend had a Fox body back in the day. It was a '84 with a 5-liter, and it would stomp on his truck that had a 350 in it. I think that's what he said. So yeah, I mean that doesn't shock me overly, even though '84 wasn't the greatest year for performance in the Mustang, but it was getting better. Definitely getting better. But yeah, so this motor, I'll be able to have some fun with this motor in the future too. Like I can actually put a cam in this motor if I want to. I can swap the heads out on this motor, because I couldn't do that with the one that's currently in that car. So this is a nice upgrade. Plus, I get to have air conditioning back, because when I sold it to the guy, he took out the air conditioning, and I'm like, why? Just get the bracket, you know, because the compressor is the same, right? So, and to be honest, until the AC is actually on, it robs almost no power from you. And yes, when the AC is on, do you get worse fuel economy? Absolutely. But let me tell you, as somebody who drove this car in the summertime, it is not pleasant with just the top down, and if it's like 35 degrees, it is not great. So yeah, it actually gets very hot very quickly in there. So yeah, just getting all of this grease and crap like that out of here. This dirt, this mud, and whatever else is on here. And like I said, I'm not going to get this perfect because I don't have time for that. You know, like, as soon as Keith walks back in here, I'll start to begin other stuff, which, I mean, should be, I don't know, the next little bit. And then we'll end the live at that point. And, you know, go from there. Because I just decided, you know what, I don't need to film this process, but I can show you guys. Which, I think I hear a vehicle. Maybe that's him. Well, no, until he walks through probably that door. Yeah, so really appreciate everybody watching right now. Cause yeah, like last night, you know, really late night. Like I didn't leave here till I think it was about midnight. That's how late of a night it was, and yeah, cause I came out here, started working on the car, you know, in the morning. Actually, I got here just after 1 o'clock, and then started getting to work, and then Keith came in and helped me out with a couple other things, and actually, if you want to see a sneak preview of what this is gonna somewhat look like in the car, I do actually have a little teaser on Instagram of the Cobra intake with the nice valve covers on the old motor in there, but it's in the car. It just does not have any of the accessory drive or anything like that on it. So, yeah. Yeah, actually, let's start cleaning over here. So, you know. Fair enough. And thank you. This should go good, to be honest. Like, this motor is a 88 Thunderbird engine. Not sure if it's a high output or not. I have not run the numbers, but to be honest, the numbers are probably covered in a bunch of mud and stuff like that, and grease, and that's why I'm brushing all of this away. Because, yeah. But also, not only because of that, I'm just making it look a little nicer before it goes in, which, I mean, this thing is just god-awful dirty. Now, these valve covers will not stay on here. I've got my hollow valve covers, which are cool, and they look better. So, but what's cool as well is doing a little bit of test fitting with a 14-inch air cleaner he had lying around. I discovered that I don't need to run that horrible, tiny little 10-inch Edelbrock. I can actually run my Ford Racing 13. At least I should be able to. So, that's one of the first things I'll do when I get home. Depending on how late it is, because I'm probably going home today. Maybe tomorrow, but I think today. There we go. That's slowly coming out. And this is just a long process of, like detailing, not my forte. I'm just getting this to look a little nicer. That's all I am doing. And making it easier for when I get the pressure, or when I get this home and just take it to the car wash for the first time and just go nuts with the pressure washer. Because that's what this motor's gonna need, is a nice, deep sort of degreasing that way. Plus I'll bring my super clean with me too to make it even better. So yeah. But well, hopefully your tree removal process goes well there, because that's very time consuming too. Just like this. Like I said, I'm not fully detailing this. I'm just waiting for Keith to come through that door, and then we'll continue to take the motor out of this and put this one in. So, yeah, but as well, actually, something that I do want to talk about, because I am getting a shipment because a friend of mine became an Amsoil dealer, independent. So what's going to happen actually is there's going to be some partnership sort of thing concerning, basically he's just giving me free products to kind of test on cars and whatever else like that. So you know what, we will be having some of that on the channel too. So it's actually, I just got the confirmation from him to say, yep, I just sent them out. So cool. Really cool. Oh, frick. This is harder work than actually taking apart the damn car. Because it's this stuff that takes the longest. Like, and I'll have to get back in here with a vacuum cleaner and clean this all out of the galleys when I'm done. Like, I'm not going to actually clean in here. I'm just going to put seafoam in the motor and do it that way. Because that is not smart to put a bunch of liquid in your motor. So I'm just doing up here sort of thing. Because already I'm getting some cooling of stuff, but like a little bit in here is fine. It's not going to hurt anything, because this is actually just like a biodegradable thing, whatever else, And this thing is going to smoke on this first startup, because it's been sitting for a couple of years. Actually, I don't know how long, but it's been sitting for, I don't know, at least 2, 3, 4 years, something like that. That's fine. But it came out of a nice running car. It's just, and it's been in storage, in covered storage in a sea can, so that's all fine. But, yeah, slowly getting there. Slowly but surely. See, that's one issue that I have, though. Being ADD and then doing detail work, it's such a pain, because you start on one area and then you jump to another. Hey, JC Motive, how's it hanging? Definitely appreciate you coming to the live stream. I am just cleaning up this new motor that I'm going to be stabbing into Lilo today. And with any luck, I'll drive this home today. So, yeah. Because I'm just waiting for Keith to walk through the door, which is who owns the shop here. And then we'll continue on. So I'm doing this in the meantime, but realistically, like, this doesn't matter. I don't have to clean this up. I was telling him that last night, that I'm probably not going to end up detailing this too much. And then I guess I lied, because I got that bolt out very quickly. Yeah, detailing is annoying. But hey, I mean, it sounds like fun. Enjoy your day, and yeah. It'll be nice to be able to drive my convertible again with 302 power and it actually be reliable, because it obviously wasn't. Like, there was so much gunk and horribleness inside the cooling system. It's just, it's horrible. Like, this engine, it's all nice and clean in these. It's like, this is how it's supposed to be, right? Now, my motor's cleaner on the outside, but the inside is dirtier. So, except for like in the intake galley and whatever else, this one's dirtier. Which it did, this one obviously ran rich for a while, so it's a little soupy in here. But, Yeah. Okay. I'm done at this point. I don't care. So now, you guys just get to see me sit down and relax for a bit. That's the one thing. I mean, I've been toying away with that for probably, good, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes, and I haven't really gotten very far, so it's fine. But, yeah. Now, as you can see from doing that, I'm all dirty. I was nice and clean this morning. I had a bath and everything. It was wonderful at my hotel. So, yeah, this is what's happening right now. Although, I can give you a sneak preview of what's going to be put into Stitch when I can find somebody that can put the rear end in the car. And meaning the gears. Because this rear end here, which actually, here, let me move some stuff around here. You can see there's a rear end hiding right here. So, this rear end is a, hang on, whoops, okay, there we go. Apologies, here we go. So this rear end right here is a 7.5 out of a 81 T-Bird, but it is limited slip. And it's just very much covered in a bunch of rust. Like, I wish I had a sandblaster and just go to town on this, but that's okay. It's got fairly new brakes inside, and it came with one of the gears here, which I will, hang on. Let me grab those. Sorry, I keep moving you guys around. I'll grab these gears and I'll show you what we'll be doing here. So, there we go. Oh, that doesn't really that doesn't work out so well, but that's okay. So, let's open up this box here. All right, and pull these out. Come on. Really? There we go. And that is out. And just pop this open. And hey, look at that! Gears. Now, the thing is, right here, you can read it. Now, this does need to be cleaned up a little, but not bad. Because yeah, see, that is a 373 gear for a 7.5. And it also comes with the, the gear here as well. So, I just picked these up yesterday, along with that rear end off a guy. He told me it was 354s, but then he put 355s in the car, and, well, it was a lot higher on the RPMs. So I'm like, okay. Now, the interesting part is for me, because I'm looking at, okay, so putting these gears in, but actually, I do want to pull that thing apart. I don't know, does he have any jack stands around here? He does, over there. Because I could put it on jack stands, pull it apart, count the teeth, put it in the calculator and see where it is, which I will do. Just like the 8.8 that I will do as well. So yeah, let me just really quick put this here. And sorry, I'll read your comments in a minute here. Apologies, because I kind of read part of that. So if I can get this box back together. Okay, come on, get in the box. You came out of that box, get in your box. It's your home, get in your home. Watch this riveting tale of Can Katarina get styrofoam in a box. There we go. That's much. There we go. And like there's a little bit of surface rust on a couple of the teeth, so I'll need to just sand that down really quick and no big deal, but yeah, so, let's tilt this back up. And then, shoot. Just give me a second here. I just want to see what was that message that I missed. Live chat, there we go. Video cam software do have. One thing is, like, with heads, if I was just going to do a head swap, which I can, actually, with this motor, because I couldn't swap heads before with the 86 I did. There we go. Get it down low. And make it look like that you guys are in front of me, actually, and just chatting with me, right? Getting it down low like this. Yeah, so, I mean, we've done a lot of work already, you know, like, we got that engine tore apart, like, not fully, obviously, because it's going to be stabbed back into that car right there. So, yeah, like, that's where we're at currently. Hey, Stacy, how's it hanging? I definitely appreciate you coming to the live stream. Yeah, I'm all dirty right now. I was cleaning the motor, so that's all from that. But yeah, so that's kind of the outlook of what's going on right now. Once this one is done, and we'll see if we'll even have time to do it or not. I might just, because I'm committed to a car show actually on Saturday here in Edmonton. So what I might just do is forego pulling the tranny out of stitch right away and just focus on, like, because the one thing is, when this is done going down the road, it might be too late for me to try and pull the tranny out of her. So I'll just leave Stitch here, go down to Sundry for a few days, come back up on Saturday for the car show, and then that Sunday, if he's not busy, we will just pull the tranny out of Stitch so I can get the adapter plate made. And we might not need to make an adapter. We'll have to see when we pull the bell housing off to see what's inside, like, because the one thing is, like, the bell housing bolts that we can see are not a small block Ford bell housing that I was hoping it was going to be, because the inline sixes did have technically a 3/4 of a small block Ford. The bottom 4 bolts are the same, the top 2 are different. But yeah, so what we can end up doing in the end, maybe, if we pull off the bell housing, and sometimes they did a dual pattern on the actual block itself. So we'll have to see if they did that on this one or not. There was no rhyme or reason for them doing it, and sometimes they were drilled both ways in 81, because that was the crossover year, was 81. So we'll just have to see. Fingers crossed, because if not, we could get the T5 back in the car. I would just need to get a clutch and pedals, which I do have a guy that has pedals for me. They're down in Red Deer, though. But, sorry, a little bit of a niche there. But yeah, that's basically where we'll be at concerning that, which, a little chillier in here. Can the furnace kick on? I'm sure Keith gets annoyed when I flick the switch on the furnace, but it's like, it gets cold in here. I'm sorry. I'm not as much of a furnace as he is. Because it's still, like, okay in here. It's not great, but it's okay. You know, and basically, like, that motor that you saw at the beginning of this live, that motor I got just for a little bit of horse trading. I gave him tires and a distributor. Because the HEI that was in Lilo, I can't put the HEI on the other motor with the intake because, well, here, I'll show you. Let's grab it really quick. Because of how high the intake runner is. Because you can see it's actually decently tall there, right? And unfortunately, like, it's a little further forward than it is on the Enterbrock Performer. So what we are gonna do, we'll just have to put an older style distributor in here. Not a big deal. And yeah, we'll run this awesome intake. I already got the studs in, so those are not coming out very easily. You'll have to get, like, vice grips on them and start turning. Or maybe channel locks will get them out. Because, like, one thing is, the threads on this wasn't amazing. So that's the thing that does happen over time. you know, when stuff has been taken off and on, off and on, off and on, which you can tell that this probably had multiple different carburetors on it because the threads are a little wore out. Like one stud actually went in perfectly. It's the other ones that didn't. So I had to just grab the carburetor nut, or one of the carburetor nuts, and just on each of them, just tighten it until it actually got tight. Okay, that's just dirt and grease in there. So, yeah, sorry. Let me just do that. There we go. So, yeah, that's basically where I am sort of at when it comes to what's going on right now. And so you guys will see the video on this Wednesday, probably, of this whole process of what we're all doing here. And yeah, because you know what, it's been pretty good so far. It's been relatively smooth sailing. Like we've had a couple of minor hiccups, like, you know, snapping that bolt on the intake was not fun, and I didn't do anything wrong. Like, he was watching me do it, and you know, I just went and then snap. It's like, oh man. So that sucked. But other than that, that's the only snap bolt we've had so far. Which there's only a couple of things to still disassemble, really, at this point. Because we can technically use, we'll just have to throw, like, we'll throw my alternator on. We'll keep my power steering pump around. Although my power steering pump I think is newer, so we might put my power steering pump on as well. Obviously put my rad in, which we might have to flush the rad itself, because there's a lot of garbage in there. Just from the horrible cooling system that this thing had. And that's why I wanted to get it professionally flushed. But the problem was the shop that I sent it to did not do that. They flushed the heater core. It's like, that's not what I asked you. I asked you to flush the entire engine. And they were concerned about, oh, putting a machine in there. Then grab a hose. Like, what are you doing? You know, just grab a hose, put it through the motor, like I did, and do it properly like that. Because yeah, that's the reason why this thing had so many issues trying to get heat into it. Because it was getting a partial blockage the entire time because of all the gunk and debris that was in the system. It was awful. And like, the one thing is, because the oil that is, or the coolant that we took out of it, now there was a little bit of oil in that itself, but I'm curious if the head gaskets actually blew on this motor, which there will be a video at some point on what, you know, like taking this motor apart to see what exactly I find inside. Just a full disassembly, and you know, we'll just have this, because it's a good block for somebody. It has okay heads, like they're E6 heads, but they're, again, kind of garbage to me. They are also cracked, so that's fun. And yeah, because there's actually holes in the heads. At the very front of it, so, but you know, that's fine. Yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. It's cool. This is my first ever motor swap in a car, which has been very fun, to be honest, and kind of eye-opening on a couple of things. But to be honest, most of this I knew because I've watched so much freaking car TV, whatever else throughout the years, that they've shown the process on TV. And so, and I've done I haven't filmed absolutely every process because that video would be over an hour long. But the video might be about an hour long anyway. So we'll have to see. Like, the one thing is, I'm close to about 40 minutes of footage currently. And as you guys know, I don't cut stuff down. I just keep it going. So there's a couple of small videos that I might just forego though in there. Because there's a couple of minute clips or whatever else that I could probably just say screw it and move on. And just talk about it later when we're about to stab the motor into the car, right? Because there's a couple of that too. And I might not be utilizing my BBK Shorty headers. I didn't realize that the factory headers actually, well, for one, they're actually not in that bad a shape. They're just a little crusty. Like, they're not actually rust. It's not like rust through or anything. It's just a lot of surface rust. It looks like it, but it's actually not. They're in pretty good shape. You see, and that's what I've heard, that there was a later dual pattern as well in 81, but it wasn't every single block. So we'll have to see for sure whether or not it'll work that way. Like, and hopefully it has a dual pattern on it, but we won't know until we have that tranny out of the car. Now, if Keith could get in here, then we could begin this, because this is not going to take long. Like, literally, we've got the torque converter bolts out already. We have, obviously, the headers off the car. We have the intake off. We have all the accessories off. It's going to be about 5 minutes after he gets in here, maybe 10. Depending on how he wants to do this, because he said he wants to use, like, the skid steer and whatnot. I'm like, why? Use an engine hoist. Like, I don't, whatever. It's just, he's done this before, but I don't like using that sort of thing for this job. So, yeah. And, you know, because with any luck, we can get everything stabbed back in relatively easy. It might actually go easier going back in than it did coming out. Because we struggled getting stuff out, but then after we figured stuff out, it's like, oh yeah, this is pretty simple, to be honest. So going back in should be easier, I would think. We'll see though. Like, I probably still won't get out of here till probably 8 o'clock or so, which I told him I did not want to be driving at like 8, 9 o'clock, but he's not getting his butt out here. Yeah, it's okay though. You know, this car, I'll just be happy to be driving her again, because it's a convertible. We don't have super nice weather right now, at least here. Later this week will be, and like, you know, if you happen to be in Edmonton and you're going to, there's a car show on Saturday that goes from 6 to 11 actually, that I will be at with probably Lilo. Unless if something catastrophic happens with Lilo, and then we'll be in the Stitch. Which, I'd be fine taking Stitch, but I'd be really upset if this thing fucking blows up again. Because I'm not doing that again. But to be honest, this motor that we're stabbing in it is much better than the one we are taking out. So it's, yeah, it's the way to go, to be honest, on this build. Because, yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I'd love to, you know, just build it out entirely and, you know, build into like a 306 or something like that. You know, maybe a, you know, and make it get you know, 350 horsepower and put the subframe connectors in and stuff like that. But for now, we are going to forgo that. And the one thing is, because the subframe connectors, which are in the trunk of the car, which is up in the air, so I can't really, I mean, I could put it back down again and you guys can see it, but because I bought subframe connectors, they are BBK for the convertible. But I'm curious actually, because where am I going to put them in? Just because looking at it on the lift, I don't really see a spot where I can. So we'll have to see. But yeah. Oh god, I'm tired. Such a late day yesterday, and then I got up at like 8:30 this morning. I'm like, why? The checkout's not till 11. Like, come on. But, you know, gave me a bit to check up on all my messages and emails and stuff like that. So that's all I was doing, and then talking with people, etc., etc. But yeah, I'm just so happy because this intake is going on that motor over there. Even though that's an injected motor, I don't care. I'm putting carburetor on it. Because yeah, we could have just honestly taken it out, stab it in with that, and no big deal. Because I think I still have some of the computerization, but I didn't want to do that. I already have the nice carburetor. I bought this intake. I have everything set up for a carburetor, so why not? And I know carbs. I don't know injection. Like, literally, I actually had to look up because I took the the 4 main bolts out for the intake. On that, I'm like, okay, why isn't this moving? What the heck? And then I'm looking. I'm like, okay, I don't see any extra bolts. So then I had to, I go to Google really quick. It's like, how to take off an intake on a 88 Ford 302. And, oh yeah, there's this little plaque on top with Torx bolts that you just need to, and it comes right out. And there's 2 extra bolts right there. So, I didn't know that. So, there you go. But, yeah, like, this is my first foray into 302s. Like, I know my inlines, I don't know my V8s. It's been fun though. It's been fun, and it's, you know, if you're not having fun, what are you doing, right? Because yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff around, and like there's some of the little parts and stuff like that. Like He's got, and it drives me nuts seeing it there. I just want to just take it, just be like, I don't know where to go, because he's got the MSD 6AL on the shelf, and I'm like, oh, I don't know, Blaster 2 coil, like those would be awesome in this, but he's not gonna get rid of those. I'm like, man, they're brand new in the box, and they're just sitting there, and they've been sitting there since I've known him. Well, I should mention, not since I've known him, because to be fair, I've only started to come to his shop recently. It's only been over the past month or so that I've been taking trips up here to Edmonton and doing that. Because yeah, I used to be taking trips up to Edmonton to see Roy and you know, have him help me with stuff, and then now it's to here to have him help me with stuff. Let's see, where does that go? I wonder. I don't know. But yeah, and like I've done a little bit of test fitting with this intake, and everything's gonna work just fine. We'll just have to find. He has one somewhere around here, somewhere. Is a whatchamacallit? Well, he has a distributor for me. It's a used one, but it's fine. I mean, I've used distributors before. I mean, look at the HEI, which is like when we first put the HEI on it. Oh, it was just a dream. Wasn't smoking at all, whatever else. But then as it started to run a little more, it started to get really smoky, and then it blew up on the highway. So gotta love dirty cool existence. Just annoying. Look, it's already 1:30, or close to 1:30. Wow. But anyways, I'm going to end this little live stream here. Hope you guys did enjoy. You know the whole spiel by now. If you're here, you know. So anyways, hope you're staying safe during COVID-19. Good luck with what we're working on, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye. Pikachu.